All right, this is very serious. I'm finding out information that is almost more for me to comprehend. I don't like horror movies, and to me, I guess a horror movie is a Western. Lonesome Dove was probably the worst movie I've ever seen in respects to just the way of life and the tragedy and how nothing matters to anyone, it seems. But then also you have horror movies that are torture movies, and I can't go there because I am a human and I cannot witness the vitality and the brutality of torture, because I cannot fathom somebody could actually do that. So in reform, they can't even come talk to me until a certain point. But this is very important. I want to speak about a video that I took when I was my first initial visit to the asylum. I was alone and I was in the workshop in the basement. And somebody made a comment about how they knew who he was and that he was autistic, and that is not the man I was speaking of. And honestly, I don't want to say that's not the man who I was speaking of. Whatever version you want to go by, but that's not who I was speaking to. And I want to talk about somebody very important, and there were many very important men and women, but especially men, who sacrificed themselves to be in that workshop. Because if you didn't notice, if you've been in there before, there is a laundry chute in there, and the sick would put their laundry in there. So anybody who was in that workshop was responsible for not only taking care of the mechanics and learning about the building and the structure and the wear and the tear. And they had no education. They didn't know what they were doing. They were sent there and they had to stay there. They were sick. They were dying. They were forced on creepy experiments, which is not the same as medical care. We're aware, but it is a science experiment there. And not only did they sacrifice themselves by being sick and putting themselves in a location where they would possibly catch some type of illness that could potentially be fatal, they were there to protect the children. And I want to talk about the irons that are in there. We're not even talking about whips and chains. We're talking about brutality towards children and adults with burning and irons under the fryer fanny, in the cooler, in the heater, in the gutter, in the shower, all of the places. So don't get it twisted. It is a world war. You just decide which one. It is a haunted, hidden, creepy asylum in a torture chamber. And that's actually true. That is 100% correct. And people who were homeless, who thought they were going there for some type of safety, would be promised something that they would not be able to get out of, because they were going to be tortured and they would not get to leave. It's just like being at Pontiac Jen's, Pontiac, Michigan. And I didn't volunteer to be there. What's really important is that a lot of psychics who are not psychics shouldn't be talking about shit. Let's just start there, one. Two, there are a lot of psychics that do pull up on shit. I'm talking hundreds of thousands to possibly millions all the time, everywhere. But don't put your little story on something and then act like that's the only thing that happened there. You honestly have no idea. And you're in danger. And that's not from Kelly. I'm not even interested in getting near you, seriously. But what we do want to talk about is a gentleman I was talking about, and more. And you don't know anything about being autistic, one. And two, if you're autistic, that's sweet as fuck. You can access more of yourself than anyone else has the capacity to, so sweet on you, even if they don't understand you. And the man that I was speaking of took so many iron burns for the children that didn't even do anything wrong. You hear a pin drop and somebody's going to get burned today. It is a torture chamber. More will come out. I'm trying to keep it respectful. I honestly am. I'm a human and I'm alive, and I know that nobody's giving me help, so I'm aware that you're triggered as fuck. But I have to say this because there's more that come through me, and they're very angry. And I'm very angry that you're keeping it a secret, and you're walking around acting like you know what you think you know, and you honestly have no idea. So I'm honestly calling you out on that, bitch. Anyone who wants to think that they know what's going on, wants to tell anybody they have an attachment with some weird shit, try to take their money, and do like even weirder shit. You honestly don't know. Like, check your mental health. Anybody that's like that. I'm being serious. Work on your customer service, and your manners, and your quality. You should probably just start with that. I'm being serious. And that's a whole nother topic. But I wanted to talk about the good ones that are in there that didn't mean to hurt anyone. And also the good ones that are in there that are victims. And you can't be a survivor until you get some assistance. And that's honestly what we're working on. So when you do your weird creep shit, you're messing with our progress, and we don't like it. So I just needed to make that known. These are heated because the people I'm channeling are very angry. When I, Kelly Mitchell, go into a space, I feel a level of pain and emotion. But emotion is different. That's sort of like a reaction. I'm feeling the deep levels of feeling like rocks in the earth and paint on the wall. Memories left behind. So I'm seriously not going to go crazy on you if you see me in person. This is for you to reflect on yourself because energy does matter, and I honestly can feel you. I want a good job because I really care about history. I care about humanity, those alive that you can see, and then those alive that you cannot see that we've lost. Your belief system, honestly, I can't even approach because it doesn't matter to me because that's your own, and I would never interfere with that. But I do ask that you don't go around town acting like you know everything. I, of course, do not know everything as well, but I'm not going to pretend that there's only one specific thing here and I know what it is and I'm going to school everyone on that because it's 100% not true. Any fake spiritualist, fake psychic, fake ghost hunter, and real creep shit, I'm talking House on the Haunted Hill, you're actually trying to hurt people, horror stories that I won't even approach, you need to back off. And I'm saying that for your protection. There's too much filth and nobody wants to hang on to that shit. We don't have time for your prison. We're trying to heal the planet. So that's a warning to literally anyone that views this that has a reaction. That's for you. It's honestly not for me. We're not on the same level. No offense. But take offense if you need to heal yourself. You will, and just heal yourself then. But thank you to the gentlemen and the women, but especially the gentlemen that tried their very best at that property and more, that were not given the tools and the resources, and they had no idea, but all they could do was their best under extreme pressure. And unless you've been tortured under pressure, you have no idea. So let's not forget. You don't understand history. Some of us do. Thank you.